Last time on solo missions. And by last time, I mean like 6 months ago.
DPX Solo, you are under arrest. You have the right to remain silent.
Well, I guess I'm in jail now. What did we learn? I guess playing games that were never meant to be released can get me in jail. Hello? Yeah, isn't it weird that I have my phone in jail? That's why I'm locked up? Because it said tank controls suck?
But what you did not see is that the jury actually ruled in favor of DPX because they realized that being locked up for saying that tank controls suck is stupid. And also, he was right. So now, DPX has been home for 6 months, and wanna know what he's about to do?
I'm running it back!
So as you probably already know, or maybe you didn't, maybe this is your first time at the channel, but a few months back, I took a look at some canceled games that are playable. Whether it be a fully finished build of a game that leaked online, a not so finished build of a game that leaked online, or the rare case where a publisher actually eventually puts the game out themselves.
But if you thought I was done, well, may I direct your attention over to when I said this? This is a big topic, and if you want me to revisit this topic a different day, let me know. I can do some other canceled games. But I don't know how long this clip goes for. I'm just gonna assume it's over. So let's just jump right into this. So starting off today, I'm gonna cover Rayman for the Super Nintendo. It's a prototype version of the original Rayman game before being moved to the PS1.
And by going to cover it, I actually mean I was going to, except what you were looking at is pretty much the whole thing. This build is basically just nothing. They didn't get that far.
Alright guys, I've let you down. I've let you all down with Rayman for the Super Nintendo. And it's so soon into the video. The video just started. I'm gonna make it up to you. I'm gonna make it up to you with the game that had we gotten it, the whole world would have been a much better place. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about the California Raisins, the Grape Escape for NES. The Grape Escape. Now, in case you're not sure, the California Raisins band, they were like these mascots while also making music. Like they were in like an actual band. And the music videos...
Come on, guys. Let's harmonize.
Pure nightmare fuel. They somehow managed to get an NES game, except they didn't, because it's in this video. But, except they also did, kind of, because I'm about to play it.
So we start here where it says CalRab. The fuck is CalRab? So what's going on here is the California Raisins got kidnapped along with all their music.
No!
Not quite sure why this is going on in a courtroom on the judge stand. Also, really? The music has been kidnapped? You gotta understand, it's out there somewhere, you know, burn it on a disc or save it to like your player or some shit, you know, but whatever. Also, if the whole band was kidnapped, who am I going to be playing as? This game is weird. It's a platformer where you play as a raisin, evil raisins come at you, and you gotta scoop pieces of yourself to kill the evil raisins.
What was that? You want to explain this to me?
Other than that, I mean, it's a California Raisins game. Not quite sure why it was canceled, to be honest. It's nothing great or anything, but there are so many worse games on the NES. Not quite sure why Capcom decided to cancel this one. Wait, Capcom was gonna publish this?
Alright. Y'all remember Steven Seagal?
You still dangerous?
Well, he sure is a character.
Well, before becoming buddy-buddy with Vladimir Putin and the president of Belarus, no seriously, Steven Seagal was a very prominent 90s action movie star, similar to the likes of Jean-Claude Van Damme, Michael Jai White, and Chuck Norris. He was so popular, in fact, that publisher Tech Magic Entertainment was set to publish a Steven Seagal beat-em-up called Steven Seagal is the Final Option.
Something about that title is very ominous and peculiar. You know, but without further ado, let's go play Steven Seagal is the Final Option. And I better watch what I say, because Steven Seagal, he's still dangerous.
Alright, level 1, underground storage area.
That's a great name.
Why is this a game? Well, it's technically not, because it never actually came out. But why was this gonna be a game? Steven Seagal in the 90s, notwithstanding, that is.
Bet you if you ask Steven Seagal about this game, though, I'm guarantee you he'll tell you, like, oh no, this game's not actually canceled. I've just been developing it for 34 years.
This game is like some weird 2D, 3D beat 'em up. Like, you look at it and you see 2D, but it almost feels like I'm controlling a 3D plane. It's really bizarre. What's even more bizarre is that it feels like this game has tank controls. Yeah, I bet you weren't expecting that, but it really feels like Steven Seagal is the final option, is a SNES and Genesis game with tank controls.
But don't worry, I'm sure Steven Seagal can confirm it's okay, I've been operating tanks for 46 years.
Sometimes it's hard to tell where Mr. Seagal is in relation to the enemy, so I'll do punches and kicks, but they don't connect because I'm not close enough. Also, by punches and kicks, I really just mean kicks because the punches are pretty much useless. And I know it's nitpicking, but I really want to understand why the name The Final Option. I thought maybe it was based on the movie The Final Option, but Steven Seagal is not in that movie. Then I thought it was a World War II reference, but that's the final solution. So why is Steven Seagal the final option?
Oh. There's nothing there.
So I got to this point where I need to jump. No problem, let's go.
Don't worry, I've been jumping for 53 years.
Alright, that was weird. Let's try this again.
What?!
So yeah, I don't think Steven could jump that far. Good thing that once you die, you could just choose where you respawn, so why do I even have to make that jump in the first place if I could just kill myself and come back?
I mean, that's how it works in real life. There's only one way to find out.
Other than that, there's not much else to it. I honestly don't know if I can go past this point, so I guess I beat the game. I've been beating games for 67 years.
Let's not forget, though, that a lot of these games were canceled, so we shouldn't be expecting that much. But regardless, I want to move on from Steven Seagal because he's still dangerous. Has been for 70 years. Let's check out Sonic. He's got quite a few canceled games. Went over quite a few of them back in part 1 before playing Sonic Crackers, which I still don't understand why it's called that. You know, are we talking about like Ritz Crackers, Sardine Crackers, maybe like the Cracker Launcher from, there was that one item in Super Smash Bros. Brawl? Talking me? I don't understand. But there's one canceled Sonic game that's more infamous than the rest, and that's Sonic Extreme.
This was supposed to be Sonic's first foray into the third dimension, and was also meant to be the Sega Saturn's flagship Sonic title. However, due to overworked employees and development just not going well, Sonic Extreme was scrapped, and before they could get another Sonic game going for the Saturn, the console was discontinued, leaving it without a major Sonic game.
Think about that. Imagine if the upcoming Nintendo Switch successor just didn't have a mainline Mario, like ever. That'd be wild. But thanks to, people, there's a playable version available for Sonic Extreme. And I'm gonna play it. Alright, that's a start. Let's continue.
Oh god, what is happening here? What am I looking at? I understand this game was cancelled, but I've seen footage of this game, like leaked footage of this game, that looks better than this. It's possible that this is a very early build of Sonic Extreme, and more people actually patched the game themselves. But still, it is pretty funny to see this level with very clearly incomplete ground, an annoying fucking glare that won't go away, and whatever the fuck this music is. Shit! I died. Well, what's going on here? What's going on with Mr. Sonic the Hedge Fund over there? It is admittedly funny to see Sonic becoming an increasingly small pixel, but what isn't funny is that I can't do anything except pause the game and restart the level. Despite the fact that I was kind of making fun of this game and that it's clearly not very playable, at least this version, I do kind of lament the fact that this game never saw the light of day. If development wasn't going that well, and the employees are being overworked and crunched at a level that modern game companies really took note, maybe canceling it was the right idea, but I can totally see the potential in this one.
That was one short-lived Sega console, but what about the next? What about the Sega Dreamcast?
The Sega Dreamcast might actually be the most underrated video game console, in my personal opinion at least. It came out almost like a course correction for the Sega Saturn, and it had some really solid games. I'll come to bat for Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, but it also has some great games like Shenmue, Skies of Arcadia, Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, Power Stone, and the list really goes on. But Konami had a Castlevania game in development for the console called Castlevania Resurrection. The game would have you follow Sonia Belmont and newcomer Victor Belmont in a prequel to the original Castlevania game, but unfortunately the Dreamcast just didn't move the needle, so it was discontinued, and because Castlevania Resurrection was set to be a Dreamcast exclusive, Konami opted to cancel the game outright instead of porting it to other consoles. And for a while, that was it. Until one day, according to a story by Matt McMuscles, a French developer who went to E3 and got a copy of the demo of Castlevania Resurrection that was playable behind closed doors, which I didn't mention until now. He took it home and just forgot about it for 20 years until one day finding it in his attic, just sitting there.
And after that, he uploaded the build of the game online, and now I'm sitting before you today about to play Castlevania Resurrection.
You know what, yeah, I wasn't expecting a title screen anyways, or any sort of opening cutscene, or nothing, yeah. Wasn't expecting that at all. So, going off of what I'm playing, it feels a bit like the whip controls from the Castlevania N64 games, where it's like they took the 2D classic Castlevanias, but put it in the third dimension. Right now what I'm doing is pretty much, well, I don't actually know, to be honest. I don't really have an objective, or anything. I'm just whipping ghosts and whoever the fuck this is. By the way, I'm being timed.
Castlevania and timers brings back some memories. True fans know that one.
I'm honestly not entirely sure if this was the E3 demo that journalists and insiders got to play. It's very unfinished, which I'm not knocking because it's supposed to be an early build of the game, but still, very unfinished. Ah shit, running out of time.
Oh god, pray for me! I don't know what's about to happen! Phew. What?!
Kinda like Sonic Extreme though, despite me kinda shitting on this one, it's very early in development and I feel like this game had a lot of potential if they saw it through. I mean hey, I love Castlevania, so the fact that this is playable at all is pretty neat. But Konami, we're Konami about it. So after roaming around for a while, not really sure what I'm doing, I end up here and...
Oh, Sonia? You good? Yeah, I don't really know how else to say this, but I think I broke the game.
Actually though, I fell through the floor and I don't think I can get back up, so I'm just sort of stuck like this.
Well, now that I broke Castlevania Resurrection, I think it's time to move on to a different game. An Elder Scrolls game called Elder Scrolls Travels Oblivion for the PSP. This is weird though. The Travels, the name Travels, sounds like it's a sequel to the Elder Scrolls Travels games for the Nokia N-Gage, which I said I'm not going to play. But Oblivion. It's Oblivion. Let's play the game to find out. Huh. Is it just me, or does that say Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and not Travels?
Yeah, about this, there's no sound in this title screen. Oh, so there is sound when you toggle.
Okay, what the fuck? I can't see. I need sunglasses on now.
So the game starts in a prison, and I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't get that far, because the game is very glitchy. The controls keep changing, the game is running very slowly, it's just very rough. As to be expected since, once again, it was cancelled. But I'm confused. This shares the name Elder Scrolls Travels, just like those games on the Nokia N-Gage. Probably called Travels because they're portable. So it's a sequel to those games, but it's a PSP port of Oblivion. And this is Oblivion. You don't create your character, and it doesn't start with a cutscene or anything like that. Other than that, it seems like a less finished portable version of the same game.
Again though, unfortunately I didn't get far enough to experience the NPCs. But then again, there are NPCs in real life. Yeah, there are.
What shall be my next quest?
Maybe leaving me alone.
What shall be my next quest?
Who are you, and where's Felicia? Oh my god, it's you!
Nope, not happening, not happening.
Come back!
What shall be my next quest?
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider is an iconic series that I've kind of always had a soft spot for.
Just a soft spot.
I mean, the original games haven't aged that well, like, at all, but I actually really like a lot of the newer ones, and even the 2013 reboot of the series I think is an absolute banger. But in terms of rights and ownership and publishers and whatnot, Tomb Raider has been all over the place, so much so that we got the situation with the cancelled Tomb Raider 10th Anniversary Edition.
But DPS, I hear you saying, we already got a game called Tomb Raider Anniversary by Crystal Dynamics! Well, you're right, but this is a different game.
Also, this one is called 10th Anniversary Edition, while the one we actually got was called Tomb Raider Anniversary. But anyways, the difference here is that the one we got was developed by Crystal Dynamics, while the cancelled one was being developed by the original developer of the series, Core Design. The crazy thing is though, both versions of this game were being developed at the same time. Ultimately, publisher Eidos picked the Crystal Dynamics game, and the Core Design version was left in a vault. Until 2020, where an alpha build of the PSP version of the Core Design version leaked online.
And it's time to play it.
You know, this is very nostalgic. I mean, just look at Lara and her triangular nose. Okay, so I fixed the speed of the game, still a little choppy, but I'd say it's presentable now. As far as actually controlling the game, it's actually not bad. I mean, it's a remake of the original game, so the controls are still a bit, you know, tankish. But since it's a remake, they refined the controls, so it doesn't feel like I'm controlling a tank. I don't even really think it looks that bad. I mean, if this was actually released and it looked like this, that would be an issue. But as an alpha version, I don't actually think it looks that bad. What really does need some work, though, is the camera controls. It's very random, and you don't actually properly control the camera. Well, I see why this game got canceled.
It's because you can't fucking see!
Oh, look, it's a bat. Let's kill it. Alright, so I'm over here now with a bunch of dogs, and I have to shoot them.
By the way, you can call this a coincidence, but I noticed that a lot of episodes I've done on the series involve me in some way beating up, fighting, or killing dogs. Hasn't happened in a while, admittedly, but still, roll the clip. Or clips, because it's multiple.
If only this fucking dog can fuck off.
Dog doesn't seem to care.
There's a dog attacking me.
I just realized this is me beating up a dog.
I'm playing as Aang to fight the wolves.
Let's kill this dog.
I'd fuck Isabel up. I mean, come on, who do you think I am? Michael Vick? I'm not gonna beat up a dog. But I will in this game, though.
Well, I guess Lara Croft actually has some freeze guns or some shit, so...
I'm sorry, what?
So as it turns out, you shoot the dogs, they freeze, but after a little while, they just come back. So I don't actually think you can kill them. You happy, PETA?
Now, I would play more, but... I'm gonna move on. And we're gonna go back to the Sega CD with one of the most infamous canceled games of all time. And this one... not quite in the best way.
It's a compilation game called Penn & Teller's Smoke and Mirrors, a game from Penn & Teller themselves, two very prominent comedians and magicians from the 90s. All these games were designed to play pranks on your friends, but the biggest prank ended up being this game, because it got cancelled due to the publisher Absolute shutting down, leaving Penn & Teller's Smoke and Mirrors as just that, smoke. Maybe mirrors, but smoke.
But you know how all these stories go by now. Game gets canceled until one day it leaks online, now a lot of people play it. But this game's a little different. This game kind of became a meme. And I wonder why.
The game starts with Penn and Teller themselves in an FMV cutscene explaining what exactly this game is. And it goes on for 3 entire minutes. Yeah, 3 entire minutes. Then you select one of the games featured, and then another FMV cutscene explaining what the game is! Alright, so first up, what's your sign? Which didn't work. Next game though, Mofo the Psychic Gorilla. Like I said earlier, these games were meant to play pranks on your friends, but I feel like I'm being pranked here because I'm doing exactly what the gorilla is telling me to do and nothing is happening.
With your right thumb, press button A to answer yes, or press button B to answer no.
That's exactly what I'm doing, you stupid fucking monkey!
It's okay, I can say that. He's a gorilla. It's fine.
Next up, Buzz Bombers. This was promoted as a quote upcoming game from Absolute, where it's a shoot 'em up. Cool. And I can't find anything on this game online that doesn't relate to Penn and Teller, so I can only assume 2 things. 1, maybe this was not supposed to be its own game and was always a part of this game, and that's the prank. Or B, which I like more, is that maybe it was intended to be its own game, and we got a little sneak peek here, but that never came out, so which means that I'm playing a canceled game inside of a canceled game! The game itself is nothing special though, but it's cool. Next up, Sun Scorcher, which also doesn't work. Next up, Smoke and Mirrors. It's a side-scroller where you play as Penn and Teller themselves and is bad. The 2 title characters are pretty much useless.
So about this game being meant to prank your friends, is that in and of itself a prank? Because I feel like I've been getting pranked by these pranks that are not meant to prank me, yet I still feel pranked. Clever prank from a couple of pranksters to another prankster, because I am something of a prankster myself. But aha! I pranked all of you because I skipped a game. It's called Desert Bus, and that's the main reason why this game is infamous. Let's find out why. Can't be that bad.
Teller and I want to prepare you for the real world.
Preparing me for the real world, you say?
We want to show you what life is really like.
What life is really like? Are you telling me to go outside? You just want me to touch grass? I can't do it. I can't do it.
So before I play Desert Bus, I must understand that according to Penn himself, Desert Bus is a game that is
Stupefyingly like reality.
Well, I can't wait. I bet this game pushes the Sega CD to its graphical limits. Let's play Desert Bus.
I get to name myself? Alright. I don't really know why it defaulted to Jocko, but I think I'm just gonna move up 1 letter.
There we go.
So it looks like I'm driving from Tucson to Las Vegas.
Well, if that's the case, let's see something life-changing. Oh, I get it. By realistic, oh, they didn't mean like graphics or anything like that. They meant like this is what it's like to actually drive a bus in a desert. How did I not think of that?
So what you're supposed to do is drive this bus, and drive the bus, and drive the bus, till you arrive at Las Vegas, Nevada. And let's not forget, we started in Tucson, Arizona. So let's figure this out. Okay, we got the length between Tucson and Las Vegas. Plus, we gotta consider that I'm driving a bus in a desert. And also, I'm going at 45 miles per hour. I can't go any faster. No, seriously, I cannot go any faster. When you factor all that in, you got a whopping 8 hours.
8 hours of real time. I'm supposed to hold the A button and steer the bus for 8 actual hours.
Keep in mind as well, it's just this. You don't see anything else on your screen. None of the buttons do anything except for B, which opens the door, and the start button honks the horn. And yes, you heard me right, the pause button doesn't actually pause the game.
The wrong lesson that From Software would take years later. I'm dying on that hill.
If you stop steering and just hold the A button,
that happens! Now you may be wondering, who would actually play this? Well, believe it or not, there is actually supposed to be an incentive to Desert Bus. Yeah, really.
in that little FMV cutscene earlier, Penn actually says this.
Oh, and check your manual for details on our Desert Bus Contest.
That's right, there was actually supposed to be a whole competition with this game, but unfortunately, Penn and Teller's Smoke and Mirrors never released, which means that Desert Bus never officially released, which means that there is no contest, which means you're just driving a fucking bus for 8 hours! Fuck! We can't end like this. I can't let it end like this. I know what I gotta do, though. I gotta find a gem where I least expect it.
This whole video, I've been looking at franchises I really like. Rayman, Sonic, Castlevania, Elder Scrolls, Tomb Raider. And all these titles showed potential, but were cancelled for one reason or another. But what about a game that was pretty much like 85% finished from beginning to end, but was cancelled because the company didn't want to release it? Yeah, that's pretty much why when you break it down.
A point-and-click PC game that took a Saturday morning cartoon aesthetic that obviously leaked online, but after it leaked online, it went over with the community so well that the guy who originally made the decision to cancel it went on to express how much he regrets that decision. Did you think I was talking about a Warcraft game called Warcraft Adventures, Lord of the Clans? 'Cause I was!
So it starts immediately with this opening cutscene that establishes the story with a Saturday morning cartoon aesthetic, like I already said. I literally just said that. And to be honest, from the little bit I've played of this game, Warcraft Adventures is a pretty solid game for one that was cancelled. This is coming from someone who isn't a big fan of Warcraft or games like this in general. I mean, easily compared to everything else I played today, this seems to be the most finished. Well, I mean, Penn and Teller was also pretty much fully finished, but it had Desert Bus, so fuck you! But seriously, I mean, I don't have much to say about this one, but it has a good story and a pretty cool character. I haven't played the mainline Warcraft game, so I don't really know who Thrall is or anything, but he's pretty cool in this game. I get maybe Blizzard not really knowing who this game was for, cause the aesthetic of the game doesn't quite seem appealing to the target demographic of Warcraft, but I also feel like while being pretty popular, Warcraft is still niche enough to where it's not gonna reach a new audience. Blizzard seems to have felt the same and scrapped it.
It's a shame though, because after Warcraft Adventures leaked online, it gained a cult-like following. A cult that I'm gonna join. What? No, this isn't what I meant. I don't mean like an evil cult. What the fuck? What happened?
Wait, is this grass?